ladies and gentlemen, we are now open for questions. All right, now, since I would not know all of you, I would expect you to please raise the placard or your hand, and once I indicate, I expect you to please give out your name and the media group that you belong to. Keep your questions short so that we can take as many questions as possible. Also, ladies and gentlemen, kindly bear in mind that confidential aspects may not be answered by the 3 DGMOs. Right. I've got a lot of hands there. Let me start from the left. Left foot always in front when we start marching. So here we have to the left, okay. Yeah, 238.
Hello. So this is Manas Pratimugyan from PTI, Press Trust of India. So the understanding that was reached yesterday on stopping the military operations and actions, was it for just 3 days? And what would be the cost escalation if there is violation of this understanding by the Pakistani side? And my subsequent question would be that we have a kind of ceasefire agreement with Pakistan that was finalized in 2003. So will there be some kind of similarities in frameworks between the two kind of understandings, 2003 ceasefire agreement and the current understanding on stopping military operations? And again, what are the cost that will be incurring on Pakistan if Pakistan again resorts to this kind of terrorist activities, because we have made it very clear that the cost will be very high. So I would like to have your thoughts on it.
Okay, so I'll answer the latter part of the question first. I also want to add that while the initial ceasefire agreement, as you correctly pointed out, is of the 2003 vintage, but I must remind you that in 2021, in the month of February, and this was then when the crisis in eastern Ladakh was also on, the 2 DGMOs had spoken and arrived at a ceasefire understanding that lasted right up until this unfortunate attack at Pahalgam. Once our Foreign Secretary had announced the decisions of the CCS in the immediate wake of that attack, he had announced certain measures, and then of course Pakistan had in turn made its own announcements. Since then, there have been certain violations of this ceasefire understanding, and of course after the 7th of May, like I pointed out during my statement, that there have been numerous violations on the line of control especially, and of course along the international boundary by the Pakistan Army and the Pakistan Air Force. This understanding that we spoke about yesterday, no, it was not for 3 days. It was first to stop aggressive and hostile activities immediately, let that order and direction settle down for about 36 hours, and thereafter discuss modalities, like I said, to ensure its longevity. That is tomorrow, on the 12th of May. But unfortunately, we had a violation starting at approximately 1900 hours last night. And we've sent a communique, like I said, to the Pakistan Military Operations Directorate. And we will await as to what happens tonight.
All right.
The cost escalation, I'll leave it to your best imagination. I've already said that the response will be fierce and punitive.
Now, the right foot forward. Yeah.
Sir, I'm Ajit Dubey from ANI, sir. Sir, my question is that you talked about the loss of lives to the Pakistan army, that was around 35 to 40 kills secured by the Indian Army. Sir, can you tell us what would be the total loss of life to the Pakistan Army in both Army and Air Force attacks, sir? And how good was the performance of the BrahMos, Scalp and the S-400 during the operations? And sir, since we have, sir, just one line,
No multiple
sir.
questions, please.
Sir,
All right.
and since sir, we have achieved such a spectacular, we have made good achievements in this entire operation. Can we say that we have emerged victorious, or we have a big upper hand over the Pakistanis in this entire conflict? Thank you very much, sir.
So I'll answer the question about the loss of lives on the other side. Of course, there are various means to ascertain that number. There is information from various agencies that come in. There are, of course, on the line of control, other ways to find out as to what has been the effect of what you are doing there in ceasefire violations. So therefore, I mentioned 35 to 40 on the line of control, and please remember that once Operation Sindoor was launched, the responses of the Pakistan Army were also on Indian Army or the Indian Armed Forces infrastructure. Let me put it that way. So that's why I did not cover casualties of the Pakistan Army, at least in the initial phases of battle, because those were not our targets. Our targets were terror-oriented, and of course later, once they launched air intrusions and air operations on our infrastructure, we've used heavier weapons, and of course there would have been casualties, but those are still being assessed. The effects of the weapons that you mentioned, I will request Air Marshal Bharti to apprise all of you about those.
Good evening, Mr. Sujit. How are you? Ajit. Okay, we're meeting after some time. I never mentioned about any of the weapons that we used. Check. Okay. What I was saying, that I never mentioned of any of the weapons, the caliber that we used. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Those are matters of operational details which I would not like to go into. But suffice to say that whatever methods and whatever means we have chosen, it had the desired effects on the enemy targets. How many casualties? How many injuries? Well, to start with, our aim was not to inflict casualties, but in case there have been, it is for them to count. Our job is to hit the target, not to count the body bags.
I wonder if you read out the tweet on ADGPI at midnight once we'd done what we had to in Operation Sindoor. And that's credit to my friend here on the left. Justice has been served, Ajit. That is all that I will say.
Ajit, I'll request you to, refrain putting words into his mouth. All right. Yeah, I'll come back to the left. 147. Sorry, 47. No, 47. Did I see it here or? Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Sorry, 147. I saw it there. Sorry. Yeah. Since I've already said 147. Start, please.
Hi, sir. Good evening. This is Shivam Patel from Reuters News Agency. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My question, sir, is how many military targets did Indian Armed Forces strike in Pakistan in response to the attacks from Pakistan? How were these targets selected? And how many troop casualties have been there in total on both sides, if you can give details? Thank you.
I'm sorry, where are you? I haven't spotted his...
He's to the right side.
Can you just repeat that for me, please?
Sure, sir. So my name is Shivam Patel. I'm from Reuters News Agency. My question is, how many military targets in total did the Indian Armed Forces strike in Pakistan in response to the attack from Pakistan? How were these targets selected? And how many troop casualties have been there on both sides, if you can?
So you're speaking of the targets that I mentioned in the wake of the attack at Pahalgam, right? Yeah, I think it's amply clear to everybody here that the Pakistan army has not crossed the international boundary, neither in the plain sector nor on the line of control. So the intrusions have been in the air. There have been certain attempts on the line of control when ceasefire violations have been on to try and infiltrate and carry out and perpetrate activities that we are all very well familiar with. Whether these are by terrorists or by the Pakistan army or its special forces and commandos is difficult to say, but each of these have been effectively thwarted. So therefore, as far as engagements of military targets on the other side is concerned, I thought Air Marshal Bharti covered those very well and in detail, and he also mentioned as to how they went about targeting those. I think those images were very clear and very, very graphic in telling us as to what we needed to hit. And you'll remember right at the outset I said that we even went into what was the construction in each of these locations and therefore decided on the vector that had to be utilized. Please.
Okay, if I could add to what the DGMO has said. I have already detailed the targets. Now, whether it is X numbers or Y numbers that is immaterial. And what damage have we inflicted, you have seen. What are the casualties on the other side? As I said, that is for them to count. As far as we are concerned, from the air defense side, if they had a choice, they would have definitely come in. They are fighters, there are more numbers of UCAVs. It is not that they did not intend to come in. It is only that our robust AD posture prevented them from coming in. So that must be known, and that must be realized by all the audience here.
Yeah, I'll come to the left now, 24.
Good evening, sir. This is Anvesh Rath from Z. Sir, I wanted to know on the first briefing, which was done by FS and two representatives from Air Force and Army, you showed a list where there was 21 places in that list. You have stuck 9. Are more operations going to be held? Is Operation Sindoor still on? And the second question, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
And also, I want to congratulate all three of you for a fantastic operation that you guys have done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that one question. Yeah. Sir, the question.
Unfortunately, Rath, is that your name? I'm sorry. As far as operational details are concerned, I'm not in a position to share those right now. But I think I'll take a cue from Pramod. He said towards the end that the Indian Navy is still in a posture that is deterrent. And I have already made it very clear towards the end of what I said that it's only a couple of hours ago that the Chief of Army Staff has carried out a security review and he's authorized our Army commanders to deal with violations of any kind from across the borders in a manner that they deem fit. So again, to reiterate, the response will be fierce and it will be punitive.
Yes. 163. I'll go back this side now. Yeah, 255. She said middle wale kya karenge, so 255. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shailesh from National Defense. Please allow me, first of all, to pay my gratitude for protecting us Indians. Thank you very much. Sir, since the enemy has been talking about taking down our aerial platforms. It would be deemed fit in case we can reveal that we have taken down their fighter jets. What could be the number? Though you said that they may be not good to reveal the platforms, but since this has come from various quarters in Pakistan, so I believe that we need to answer, in case if you can, sir, if you may allow.
The question is for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if I get it right, you want to know how many of their planes we have downed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. See, as I said, their planes were prevented from coming inside our border. All right. So we do not have the wreckage with us, but definitely we have downed a few planes. Numbers, we would not like to hazard a guess out here. Okay. I have the numbers, okay, and we are getting into the technical details of it to establish it. So I would not like to put a figure at this time, but definitely there are losses from their side which we have inflicted.
Were they,
please don't ask.
Were they fourth generation plus, sir?
No,
See,
sir,
you're putting words into my mouth. Why do you say fourth generation? Let us make it high tech.
Thank you so much.
All right.
सर मैं मंजीत नेगी हूँ आज तक से। मेरा सवाल ये है कि इस पूरे ऑपरेशन में जो आतंकी ठिकानों को निशाना बनाया गया, क्या नंबर्स कुछ बता सकते हैं कितने आतंकी मारे गए? कुछ नाम सरकार मतलब कुछ नाम मीडिया में आए भी हैं जो बड़े उसके मास्टरमाइंड थे। और एक सवाल जो आज एयरफोर्स ने भी ट्वीट किया कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अभी जारी है और सरकार की तरफ से भी कहा गया, और पिछली बार जब विदेश मंत्रालय की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस पहली हुई थी उसमें वो लिस्ट दिखाई गई थी कि 21 टेरर कैंप आइडेंटिफाई किए गए हैं। तो क्या जो बाकी बचे हुए टेरर कैंप उन पर भी कार्रवाई होगी? और एक नंबर जरा बता पाएं कितने टेररिस्ट मारे गए?
Sir, before you answer, sir, before you. Manjeet ji, 3 questions. The third one has just been asked here before. So 21 this thing. So I'll request the first to be answered so that we have more number of people who can ask.
मंजीत, जब मैंने स्टेटमेंट दिया तो मैंने शुरू में ही कहा कि जैसे ही ऑपरेशन सिंदूर कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइज हुआ तो हमारा जो पीछे की कार्रवाई होती है स्पेड वर्क और टारगेट्स को आइडेंटिफाई और एनालाइज करने की कार्रवाई शुरू हो गई थी। मैंने जब स्टेटमेंट दिया तो मैंने बताया कि बहुत सारे थे, हमने 21 दिखाए होंगे और भी हैं, लेकिन वो लिस्ट फिल्टर करते करते 21 तक पहुंची। अब क्या आगे एंगेज किए जाएंगे? अगर ज़रूरत पड़ेगी तो ज़रूर एंगेज किए जाएंगे, लेकिन मैंने बताया कि इस समय जो इंट एजेंसीज ने हमें बताया कि फलाने कैंप में प्रेजेंस है, हमने उनको एंगेज किया। कुछ नाम मैंने लिए, कुछ नाम अभी पुख्ता किए जा रहे हैं। मैंने आपको बताया कि जो इंट एजेंसीज ने अभी तक असेसमेंट किया है उसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि तकरीबन 100 से ज़्यादा मारे गए हैं। और एक आज आपने तस्वीर भी देखी कि काफ़ी प्रोमिनेंट जो फ्यूनरल था, काफ़ी प्रोमिनेंट एक जो हस्ती हैं वो ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे थे, और उस फ्यूनरल में और कौन कौन लोग अटेंड कर रहे थे वो तो आपने देखा ही। तो आप लोग सब समझदार हैं और मुझे ये कहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि इन लोगों को कहाँ से सपोर्ट मिल रहा है। अगर नहीं मिल रहा होता तो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर नहीं होता, तो उसी की वजह से है ये ऑपरेशन। तो मेरे ख्याल से मैंने आपके सारे सवालों का जवाब दे दिया।
Ma'am, sir, next is from 17.
सर, मेरा नाम अंजू निर्वाण है, TV9 भारतवर्ष से। सर, मेरा सवाल ये है कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में हमारी जो इंडियन नेवी है उसके बारे में सर थोड़ा सा बताएं कि किस तरह की उसकी भूमिका रही, क्योंकि हमने इस दौरान सर देखा कि बहुत सारी स्पेकुलेशन भी रही और ये बोला गया कि कराची तक हमारी नेवी ने ऑपरेशन किया है। तो सर इस पे थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी चाहिए। और सर हमने कौन कौन से फाइटर एयरक्राफ्ट डाउन किए हैं, अगर उसका भी थोड़ा सा क्लैरिटी मिल जाए तो अच्छा रहेगा।
तो मैं आपका पहले सवाल का जवाब दूंगा। आई विल मेक फ्यू सेंटेंसेस and leave it for your imagination. First of all, as I mentioned, we have quantitative and qualitative edge to deliver a massive blow to our adversary. And we completely dominate in the maritime front. Indian Navy's action is part of the escalation ladder mechanism which we have worked out amongst 3 services. This time, if Pakistan dare take any action, and Pakistan knows it, what we are going to do. That's all.
Okay. आपके सवाल का जवाब मैं पहले दे चुका हूं। आपके सवाल का जवाब मैं पहले दे चुका हूं, इसलिए मैं बस उस तक ही सीमित रखूंगा और इतना कहना चाहूंगा कि आने वाले दिनों में आपको खुद ही पता चल जाएगा और ऐसी बातें छुपी नहीं रहती हैं, तो पता चल जाएगा. So at this time we'll just let it be.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have 1 or 2 more questions, sir. So please, they are going to be outside. You can speak to them there also. 104. Yeah, ask, sir.
Sir, Dinakar with the Hindu newspaper.
Are you surprised that you got this question?
No, sir. I'm waiting for this to look. Sir, can you give a number of assets we lost, because there's been a lot of speculation going on, international media writing a lot of things about our platforms, including Rafale. I mean, Pakistan claiming that Rafale has been downed, etc. Can you put that question to rest and clarify on that?
I guess that question is for me. All right, I'm happy that you've asked this question. You know, we are in a combat scenario, and losses are a part of combat. The question that you must ask us, okay, and indeed that we must ask ourselves, you inclusive, is have we achieved our objectives? Have we achieved our objective of decimating that terrorist camp? And the answer is a thumping yes. And the results are for the whole world to see. As for the details, what could have been, how many numbers, which platform did we lose? You know, at this time, I would not like to comment on that, because we are still in a combat situation. And if I comment on anything, it will only be advantage adversary. So we don't want to give him any advantage at this stage. All I can say is that we have achieved our objectives that we selected, and all our pilots are back home. Thank you.
Hold, please please be civil here. So we'll have 220 now.
हेलो सर, दिस इज़ अनीता चौधरी सर फ्रॉम स्वदेश न्यूज़पेपर. मेरा सवाल है, क्योंकि ये हमारे जो पहले जो एक्शन रहा वो आतंकवाद के खिलाफ रहा, तो आतंकवाद में अजहर मसूद की तरफ से एक बयान जारी किया गया था जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि हम इसका बदला लेंगे और जाज रुलाएंगे. तो क्या अगला, अगर खुदा न खास्ता अगला टेरर अटैक किसी भी तरह का होता है, तो क्या उसे एक्ट ऑफ वॉर में हमारी तरफ से लिया जाएगा और उसका क्या माकूल जवाब दिया जा सकता है?
मेरा इसमें सिर्फ एक ही जवाब है आपके लिए कि हमने अपनी कार्रवाई करी. हमने उसके बाद मैंने अपने स्टेटमेंट में भी बताया कि ये कम्युनिकेट करने की कोशिश करी कि हमने इस तरीके से ये जो स्ट्राइक्स हैं वो क्यों की. लेकिन जो हमारा एडवर्सरी है उसने जैसे मुनासिब समझा वो कार्रवाई करी. तो आपने देखा कि ये जो एक्टिविटीज़ चल रही हैं 3-4 दिन से, ये कोई वॉर से कम नहीं है. नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टांसेस में एक दूसरे देश की एयरफोर्सेस हवा में नहीं उड़ती हैं और एक दूसरे के ऊपर स्ट्राइक्स नहीं करती हैं. हर रात इंट्रूजन्स नहीं होते हैं. लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पर सीज फायर वायोलेशंस, आपके एक साथी ने सवाल पूछा था शुरू में, एक सीज फायर अंडरस्टैंडिंग था, वो भी जा चुका है. उस सीज फायर अंडरस्टैंडिंग के जाते जो फायरिंग हो रही है लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल में, उसमें घुसपैठ की कोशिश हो रही है। आमतौर पर ये घुसपैठ लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल में टेररिस्ट करते हैं, लेकिन हमें इंफॉर्मेशन है कि हो सकता है ये पाकिस्तान आर्मी की टोलियां भी हों जो हमारे पोस्ट के ऊपर खामी पहुंचाने की कोशिश कर रही हैं। तो ये सारी एक्टिविटीज तो वॉर में शामिल हैं। तो ये कहना मुश्किल है कि आगे क्या होगा, वो स्पेक्यूलेटिव जोन में आ जाता है और मैं स्पेक्यूलेट नहीं करना चाहता हूँ। हर एक सिचुएशन अलग होती है और उससे एक तरीके से डील किया जाता है।
मैं एक सवाल इसका मैं जवाब देना चाहता हूँ, एक मिनट। जो मिलिट्री होता है, आवर मेन जॉब इज टू प्रिवेंट वॉर एंड मेंटेन पीस एंड स्टेबिलिटी। सो इट इज नॉट दैट आवर रिस्पॉन्स इज अ ग्रेडेड रिस्पॉन्स। दैट मीन्स अगर किसी ने किया तो उसको ग्रेडेड उसमें किया। जैसे टेररिस्ट एक्शन हुआ तो व्हाट वी डिड इज द टेररिस्ट एक्शन एंड वी डिस्ट्रॉयड ऑल द टेररिस्ट कैंप्स। उसके बाद आपने देखा कि उनने थोड़ा सा कोशिश किया तो हमारे एयरफोर्स एंड आर्मी ने क्या किया, तो मिलिट्री टारगेट्स हैं उनके ऊपर थोड़ा। सो आवर एम इज टू मेंटेन पीस एंड टेल द आवर एडवर्सरी दैट यू डू दिस एंड द रिस्पॉन्स विल बी ब्लडी।
Okay, now as per the, please, we'll have 166 and 25, and after that, no more, please.
Sir, this side.
Ladies and gentlemen, please maintain, I request you to please be quiet.
Jal Ghai?
No.
This side, sir.
We have only two questions left, 166. Yeah, please ask.
So I'm Rahul Singh from Hindustan Times, sir. So you were totally on top of the game in the kind of losses you've inflicted on the enemy. I mean, we saw those slides and everything. So it kind of comes across that you were batting it 99 and you decided to declare your innings. What are your thoughts on that, sir? And do you think, are you weighing the option of the Pakistan Army using this time, buying this time of the so-called ceasefire or the understanding? And you talked about how they could not be trusted. So buying time to kind of build up their war reserves, getting stuff from their friends like Turkey or China, are we considering that possibility, sir?
Look, see, the call came from the Pakistani side to speak about cessation of hostilities. What pauses mean during such conflicts is known to everybody. You know, I don't want to go into the pros and cons of how preparation for war is made. You know, that is a process in itself. But I think my senior colleague here, the DG Air Operations, spoke, or he alluded at least, you know, to what this operation was precisely and specifically meant for. And I think that's something that we achieved, you know, right at the outset. Had we had the option not to go further, we probably wouldn't have. But we've been compelled to be in this situation. And as you've seen, the armed forces of India, and you know, you've got the three Director Generals sitting here, we are always prepared to face any eventuality. And like I said, that's for the sovereignty, the territorial integrity, and the safety of our citizens. So whatever has to be done will be done. You know, I'm not so concerned about what Pakistan will do in this time. I'm only concerned about what we will do. We have a roadmap and a plan, and we will follow it diligently, and we will follow it to the T. You know, that's the contention that I want to make here today.
Ma'am, please. Okay, the last question, and ma'am, 25, she has been asking since the first one.
Sir, I'm Nandita. Sir.
She's not asking a question.
Sir, I'm Nandita Dagar, DGAR from DD News and DD India. Sir, I wanted to ask you that my question is to General Ghai. Sir, you spoke to your counterpart yesterday and the Pakistani counterpart. Sir, what is the Indian Army's assessment that despite that agreement, that talk that you had, despite that agreement coming into effect at 1700 hours yesterday, why did they violate it? And number two, yesterday at the joint Defense Ministry and Foreign Ministry briefing, Wing Commander Vyomika Singh and Colonel Sophia Qureshi had told us that we have cited the Pakistani troops amassing at the borders and at the LOC. Sir, has that situation changed? Have they withdrawn? And sir, if in case, despite now there is a lull, of course, but if tonight again, if the enemy again carries out shelling and aerial intrusions through drones, what is going to be our response, sir? Thank you.
So, without outlining the specifics of that response, I've already made it clear that there will be a response and it will be fierce and it will be punitive. Why the Pakistan Army chose the option of violating the understanding that was arrived at earlier yesterday, I think that's a question that we best answered by the Pakistan DGMO. I wouldn't be able to, give you that. But, in situations such as these, and if you go back into any conflict, sometimes these understandings take time, to fructify and manifest on ground. But without, getting into the reasons, it is our mandate to be prepared at all times, and that we were. It's not as if because there was an understanding we weren't prepared. I must tell you that the armed forces were on a very, very high alert, and they continue to be in that state even as we speak.
Oh, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, please, ma'am, please. Okay, thank you so much for coming today. Those who have missed asking a question, those who have missed, see, I knew I'll grab this attention from you like this. Those who have missed the opportunity to ask a question can give me a written one. I'll definitely get back to you with that. And also, they are they are invited for a cup of tea in my office day after tomorrow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.